Welcome to Missouri in the Crossfire, a podcast exploring Missouri's Civil War, one of the most misunderstood and undertold fronts of the American Civil War. I'm Jonathan Midgley, and over the next 2 years, we're going to walk through Missouri's war, its battles, its people, and the chaos that reshaped the state. Like most people, I grew up learning the Civil War through the Eastern and Western theaters. Gettysburg, Antietam, Shiloh, Vicksburg. Missouri barely registered, if it showed up at all. That changed about 4 years ago. I was in Springfield, Missouri, and saw a sign for Wilson's Creek Battlefield. Curiosity got me. I pulled in. I stepped onto the field. And even though it wasn't my first battlefield visit, it was my first in Missouri. And I was hooked. My wife took one look at me and knew exactly what was about to happen. She rolled her eyes, lovingly, because she knew I was about to disappear down a rabbit hole I'd never climb out of. And she was right. I'm still down there, and I'm not even trying to find the exit. I bought a book in the visitor center. I read it. I found the film August Light. I watched it, and that should have been the end of it. Then came the library visits, the YouTube deep dives, the Kindle downloads, the endless Google searches. And what I found wasn't just a battle. It was a story, fragmented, scattered, and rarely told well. Missouri's war didn't fit the clean narratives I was used to. It was political, violent, personal, and often lawless. As I dug deeper, I kept running into the same problem. Missouri's Civil War is everywhere and nowhere. It shows up in footnotes, side chapters, and passing mentions. A raid here, a skirmish there, a guerrilla attack tucked into a paragraph. But rarely is Missouri's war treated as a single, coherent story. That's the gap this series fills. Not to sell you anything, but to explain why this story matters and why this work exists at all. Because when I went looking for a clear, organized, accessible way to understand Missouri's Civil War, I couldn't find it. So I decided to build the resource I wish I'd had when I started. This podcast exists to tell Missouri's Civil War as one connected story, from the political tensions before 1861 to the long aftermath that followed. Not as isolated battles, not as trivia, not as a collection of disconnected events, but as a war that unfolded differently here than anywhere else in the country. This is a limited series, roughly 25 episodes, released monthly. Some episodes will focus on battles, others on broader phases of the war, political, social, and military. And when the subject demands it, I'll bring in a resident expert to help unpack the deeper context. If the show gains traction, we'll expand the schedule, but for now, think of this as a guided, structured journey through Missouri's war.
Why should anyone care about Missouri's Civil War? Missouri's Civil War isn't clean or simple. It's gritty. It's chaotic. It's layered deeper than most people realize. You could spend a lifetime studying just this state and still never uncover it all. More than 1,200 battles, skirmishes, and violent clashes. A landscape full of forgotten roads, bluffs, creeks, and towns where history still lingers. Missouri is a beautiful state to explore, so why not explore it with a purpose? But here's the problem. Missouri is one of the most underrepresented states in Civil War publishing. Its story gets overshadowed, simplified, or ignored entirely. So I'm trying to fix that. Piece by piece, book by book, story by story. I've completed a full series on Missouri's major battles, guides built to help you walk the ground and truly understand what happened there. And I'm building a growing library of quick-read books, with many more releases planned. Because Missouri deserves a deeper spotlight than it's ever been given. I've built a central resource hub, timelines, maps, travel tools, articles, and it's improving week by week as I uncover more of Missouri's forgotten frontier. Why do all this? Because Missouri's Civil War has a story to tell, raw, complicated, human, and it deserves to be heard. Follow for more Missouri Civil War history.
Missouri's Civil War matters because Missouri was a border state, politically divided, strategically vital, and pulled in two directions at once. It matters because the conflict here wasn't just North versus South. It was neighbor versus neighbor, family versus family, communities split down the middle. It matters because guerrilla warfare took root here, not on the margins, but at the center of daily life, a brutal, personal, often retaliatory form of violence that blurred the line between soldier and outlaw. It matters because civilians bore the brunt of the war. Homes burned, towns emptied, entire counties destabilized. The war didn't just pass through Missouri, it lived here. And it matters because the consequences didn't end in 1865. The political, cultural, and social fractures created during the war shaped Missouri for generations. Missouri didn't just experience the Civil War. Missouri was changed by it. In the next episode, we'll step back before the fighting began to understand how Missouri reached the breaking point. This is Missouri in the Crossfire. And this is where Missouri's war begins.